What's good, everyone? So today we're going to take a look at the two latest releases from Fragrance.One, aka Jeremy Fragrance's brand. We're going to take a look at Unisex as well as Black Tie, which is the one that's getting the most talks, if you will. If you guys want to know more about these fragrances, stick around. It's coming up next. What's going on, everyone? Max Forti. Today it's going to be a quick first impression on these two fragrances here because this one here I haven't actually opened. It's still sealed. It's Unisex. This is the 50 ml. And I also have a 10 ml travel size atomizer here for Black Tie, which is the most expensive and also the one that's getting the most limelight and hype, if you will, in the fragrance community. If you guys have missed, I have done a full review on Office for Men as well as Date for Men, which I'll pop up here for you guys, and I'll also keep in the description of this video so you guys can check it out and find out fully on these two fragrances if you haven't, tried them yet. And of course, guys, these two fragrances that I'm trying today are going to be actually my first time trying them. And if you want to know more about this company and what it stands for, I'm going to also have the link below to Fragrance.One so you guys can check out pricing and all that stuff. They're not cheap, guys. I think the Unisex one, the 50 ml, retails for $152 if I'm not mistaken. It is an extrait de parfum. And Black Tie, like I said in the beginning, the most expensive one, the 50 ml like this will retail $388. Or you can get a 10 ml like this one here, which is also extrait de parfum, for about 57 USD. I've never tried Day or Night for women, the two fragrances that were released for women, the female fragrances that Jeremy put out, I think last year as well. I have not had the pleasure or the chance to try those fragrances. And by the way, both of these fragrances that I'm reviewing today or doing a first impression for you guys have not been sent to me for review. I've actually got them, purchased them on my own. We're gonna start off with Unisex. As we know, this fragrance here was released for both men and women. It's the one in the middle here from what we read, for what you can read. And I'm gonna read actually what it says on the website itself. It says this fragrance contains 3 notes, bergamot up top, cinnamon and heart, and elemi at the base, which the description reads, sexy elemi, a resin from Philippines with an orange flavor, Italian bergamot for the fruity opening that everybody loves. So that's what Jeremy has as a description for this fragrance. Let's crack this up and let me give you guys my first take on this fragrance. As we know, Fragrance.One, are not known for really intricate or elaborate, presentations. Very common cardboard box here. The bottle's, again, a dark glass, nothing to it, dark cap here. It does the job. The sprayers are nice, but again, it's nothing fancy. But what Jeremy says, the juice is what matters. So let's see if that's the case here. The sprayers are pretty good, like I said. You can't control the mist here, depending on how hard you push the atomizer. Here's a tester strip. So let's see what we get from Unisex, guys. So this fragrance here smells nice. From a first impression standpoint, it is very nice. It's very mass appealing. I don't think there's nothing not to like here. It is very, very nice. When it comes to Unisex, I can see that. There's also, I'm getting like a lipsticky vibe, almost like an iris feel here, something that you'd get with Prada L'Homme. And again, as far as notes, there's only 3 listed notes, which is bergamot, cinnamon, and elemi. But I do get a lot more here from a first impression. Like I said, I'm getting like an iris vibe, which is adding this creaminess to the fragrance. Definitely cinnamon. There's a component of the cinnamon here. There's definitely the bright opening with the citruses, but I'm getting more than just a bergamot. I get a feel maybe from like an apple or pear. There's definitely more fruits in here. Quite nice, quite appealing. I can see something that will grant you positive notices, compliments. As far as this being unisex, yes, I can see both men and women rocking this. But if I'm being totally honest, I think this leans a little bit more masculine to my taste. But yeah, there's definitely the iris note that I'm getting here, the creaminess, the sweet, the cinnamon. So a lady could pull this off beautifully as well. As far as, does this remind me of anything? It has similarities to stuff that I smelled before, like different designer fragrances out there. I can't really pinpoint them or quite put my nose on it, literally. Maybe some resemblances with Ultramol, maybe like a toned down version of Ultramol with maybe some of the iris that I'm talking about here and the cinnamon, the creaminess, resinous feel with this fragrance. It is nice, guys. It's that simple. I think the only qualm here would probably be the price point, at $152 for a 50 ml. It is a little bit on the pricier side, but it is nice. Now, as far as like projection performance, I don't know yet because I haven't worn this. But from what I'm getting here, the room's quite full right now. This test strip is really, emanating the smell, I'm thinking the performance is going to be above average here and perhaps even strong. So I have to give this stuff more wear. You know, I haven't even worn this, I just cracked it open today, so I have to actually wear this fragrance to really get a feel for the performance of this fragrance. But if you guys want to see a full review on Unisex, guys, let me know in the comments and I'll come back. Of course, let me know in the likes. If you guys want really me to do a full review on Unisex, you guys are the voice. You let me know and I'll come back with it. Next up, we have Black Tie. Now, Black Tie is the priciest of all the fragrances, is the one that is done by Alberto Marias. So this particular fragrance here, I'm gonna read the notes real quickly from the website, which is going to be Brazilian mandarin up top, Italian lemon, American orange, guaiac wood from Paraguay in the middle, vetiver, patchouli, and cardamom at the base. So from the note breakdown, it seems like something I will enjoy. From the name itself, Black Tie, you think someone is really well dressed, evening events, parties, or stuff that you're really putting your best foot forward, or really trying to be perceived as somebody who's in control or know what you want from life. That's what I'm getting when I'm thinking about Black Tie, like CEO, boss type of fragrances. Well, let's take it for a test drive. Again, it's my first time trying this fragrance. Sprayers are good in these fragrances. Okay, so this one here, just from the first spray, it has an animalistic, dark facet to this fragrance. So this is going to be the more niche-like of all the fragrances that Jeremy has put out thus far. I think that if you had blind bought this fragrance, or if you actually, let me scratch that, if you have blind smelled this fragrance, somebody just sprayed this on a blotter like I just did now and gave it to you, I think your immediately first thought would be, wow, this is niche, because there is an element of mysteriousness here, there is an element of dark and animalistic facet here that you find mostly with niche fragrances. This is something that you don't find at your general store. Unlike Unisex that I talked about before, which has a lot of elements from designers that I've come to smell over the years, this, even though has some of those sweet and creamy components, it has this really dark and animalistic facet to it that really sets it apart from anything that Jeremy has put out so far. So I don't have this on skin, I haven't worn this before, I haven't tried it any time, other than right now. So I do get the orange mostly from all the citrus components up top, the whole melange of citruses. I think the mandarin orange really pops. The guaiac wood is really heavily done here, which, like I said, adds this animalistic / creamy facet to the fragrance. And I think the vetiver and the patchouli will probably come through as the fragrance dries down and develops mostly on skin. I think in the blotter here, it's mostly that heavy guaiac wood along with those citruses is what I'm getting here, which I think is the introduction. But there's definitely a very different animalistic vibe to the scent, which is, I'm really enjoying. It's quite nice. Oh yes, and there is a very spicy cardamom here as well. I know Jeremy loves La Nuit de l'Homme, so I think he took notes from that fragrance, transposing that beautiful cardamom into this fragrance. It's not going to be powdery or as mass appealing as you would expect from La Nuit de l'Homme. This is going to be going towards a more darker, more intriguing and mysterious direction. But there is a very beautiful, cardamom infusion in this fragrance as well. So if you like cardamom, if you like dark animalistic fragrances with those sweet citruses up top, this is going to be really nice, guys. I'm really enjoying this from a first impression standpoint. And I go as far as saying that from everything that I own from Jeremy Fragrance, from Fragrance.One, this is definitely my favorite one because of that mysteriousess, that intriguing facet with the dark animalistic vibe that I'm getting here right from the get-go, right from start. So my quick final thoughts here on this first impression. As you can see, these are not cheap. For a 10 ml, you're talking 57 USD. For a 50 ml of the Unisex, you're talking 152. So what I would suggest you guys, if you really want to try these, perhaps get a decant somewhere, be a part of the groups, the fragrance groups, which is actually where I got mine. You guys, if you don't know it yet, you'll know it today. I have an Emporium of Scents group on Facebook, which has over 23,000 members. If you love to be in the know, if you love to get savings, discount codes, fragrance news, trade swaps, guys, fragrance groups are the best place to be. And I'm telling you, that's where I found these fragrances. Someone was getting rid of them. I got them, I bought them. Hence the fact that I'm bringing them forward to you. But if you don't want to get them in the groups, perhaps wait for the BOGO sales that Jeremy has every so often, which is buy one, get one free, sometimes bundles, which will offset the cost, making the price per bottle a lot more easier to digest, if you will. I think $388 for a 50 ml of Black Tie is a little bit steep. even though I told you it is my favorite so far. So those are my first thoughts, my first impressions, impressions on these two new fragrances from Jeremy Fragrance. Again, I haven't tried day or night. If you guys or ladies out there have tried those two fragrances, let me know if it's worth me picking them up and sharing it with you guys. And of course, if you guys want to see a full review on Unisex or Black Tie, be sure to leave me in the comments, leave me in the like, and I'll come back with a full review of these fragrances for you guys. And if you missed Date and Office, again, link below, and it'll pop up here for you guys so you can check out those two fragrances as well. That's all I have for you guys today on this first impression. Hope you guys enjoyed. Always, the like is appreciated. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and turn your notification bell icon so you get videos like these straight into your feed. As always, guys, stay tuned for more. I'll catch you guys again real soon. Take care.